Hey guys, how's it going? Brad Riley here. Welcome to this video. And in this one today, I have more of a story time type video because what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you my story on how I landed my first ever client for my social media marketing business. And hopefully you guys can pick up one or two things along the way as well to help you land yours. Now, obviously, if you are new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. And if you can drop a like as well, it would really be appreciated. It helps me out. It helps me reach more people and ultimately help more people close more deals for their social media agency. So again, that would be really appreciated. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Now, in order for me to really give you insight on how I closed my first deal, I think it's appropriate to take you back to what my situation was at the time. Now, growing up, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Let me preface by saying that I've always wanted to start my own business, but I come from a background, a family where I have no relatives who have run businesses before. I don't come from a wealthy background. All my family throughout my whole life have had financial issues, been working minimum wage. Now, I had the most important thing in my family, which was love, care. I was always adored, I was always taken care of, and that's the most important thing. But, just to preface, I've never had any money. I had no silver spoon. And at the time of me actually starting my agency, I was in debt. I owed money. It wasn't a huge amount of debt. I was like £1,500, about $2,000 in my overdraft at the time. So obviously, let me preface by saying I had no silver spoon. I had no mentor in my life that had done this before, who had started a business before. But I always had this drive ever since a young age that I wanted to be my own boss and wanted to start my business. But coming from the background I'd come from, I was always under the assumption, you know what, I need to have money to start a business. That's what I was always told. Yeah, you need to have money and capital to invest to start your company. So with that mindset, I always thought growing up, I want to start a business. I'm going to do everything I need to make it work, but it's probably going to be by the time I'm like 30, 40, 50 years old that I can actually ever afford to start a company. Now, fast forward my life, I'd take your typical route that everyone's told to go down, go to university and get a job. So I did exactly what society told me to. I went to university, I was studying business studies, and at the same time of that, I actually got a job working for Co-op, which is just like a food retailer in the UK. It's a small little grocery store basically, and I would work behind the tills for minimum wage, stack the shelves, and to be honest, I absolutely hated it. Like, I literally hated that job with a passion. It was not enjoyable at all. I was working night shifts, then the morning after. Like, it was just absolutely ridiculous, the kind of shifts that I was doing. Definitely like illegal, some of them as well. But again, I was doing it for minimum wage, and at the same time, I was also a university student. Now, I still at this point had this drive to make it work. And if you take anything away from this, the reason I've been able to achieve, again, I've still got so far to go, but I've been able to achieve a considerable amount over the last few years, it's all been down to my obsession and drive to make it work. I just want to make that clear, all right? So obviously, fast forward again, I'm at university. I'm at this point dropped out of university, and I've started another course at the same university. So I already dropped out once, and I re-enrolled to take accounting at this point, because again, I thought business studies wasn't for me. I did business studies because I wanted to learn how to run a business, and shock, they teach you absolutely nothing about running a business. It's very corporate. They basically teach you how to become an employee. And it was, again, I was miserable. And it was at this point in my life that I actually booked a trip to go away with she's my fiance now, but at the time she was my girlfriend. We booked this trip away, and we actually went to Bali, and we went to 2 weeks in Bali. And like I said, I was working a job at the time, so I saved all my money up I could. Bear in mind, I was still in my overdraft. I went even further back into my overdraft, stupid decision, to go on this trip. And we went away to Bali for 2 weeks, and it was just the best trip. And when I was out there and I was sitting down, and I realized I cannot relax out here. Like, I'm on holiday now, I'm on vacation right now. I should be relaxing, I should be enjoying myself. But the truth was, I wasn't enjoying myself. I was actually stressed about the fact I had to go back to uni and go back and go to work. Like, the whole point you have a holiday is to get away. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, I'm having this holiday to get away and I'm still stressed. I was like, I've got to make a change. I've changed my course, and I'm more miserable in this second course. I know I don't want to work at Co-op. Why am I waiting to start my company? Why? So what I did is I got out a piece of paper and a pen, and I made notes. I was sat there on a beach in Bali, and I was writing down all the stuff that I was good at Now at the time I had another YouTube channel, so I started writing down like YouTube. Again, previously when I was a lot younger, I created some like social media pages for a couple of my friends, like they used to do parkour and had YouTube channels, so I'd create like social media pages for those guys and that. So I wrote down social media, and I wrote down a big long list like video editing, all this stuff that again I was by no means a master at, but I was half decent at least better than a lot of other people, right? So I wrote down that big list and I thought, right, that is it. I'm going to start a business in one of these areas. So I did a bunch of research, how you can make money with social media, how you can make money with YouTube. And I stumbled upon these things called freelance websites, and I stumbled upon a platform called Upwork. Now I started to look through Upwork and I found a bunch of people who were looking for help with social media, bunch of people who were looking for help with YouTube. And I was about to apply, and I sat down and I was like, you know what? I have absolutely no experience in this space. I've never edited a video for a business before. I've never posted on social media for a company before. Like, I'm not qualified to do this. Nobody's gonna hire me. And I went to shut down the website. And as I was doing that, my girlfriend, now fiance, was in the room with me. And she said to me, Brad, you're miserable right now. Like, I hate seeing you like this. You're usually such a happy, positive, upbeat person, but you're miserable right now, and I don't like seeing you like this. Like, you need to make a change. So apply to the job. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Apply to the job. So again, I took her advice and I applied to the job. And this at the time was just it was a podcast, like a dentistry podcast. They wanted some help with social media. So I applied to the job. And the next day or the same day, I can't exactly remember, I get a notification back. I got a response. This guy called Dom had reached out to me and he said he wanted help with social media. And he pushed to me, he said, Brad, you seem like a good fit. Are you free for a call? Now, bear in mind, like what I said to you, I was extremely introverted growing up. I didn't have a bunch of friends. Confidence was always something that I struggled with so much. And on top of that, bear in mind, not only am I introverted, never had a business call in my life, I haven't even started my business, I've never made money online. On top of that, I've got to now go and speak to this guy, offering him social media services that I've never done for another company before. So to tell you that I was fearful and scared is an understatement. I was absolutely like bricking it. I was so scared, and I actually had to make a decision at that point, right? I had to make a decision. Do I say yes, take this call, potentially transform my life, and everything I've ever wanted was on this other side of fear, I was on this other side of this sales call, or do I go back to co-op tomorrow? Do I go back to university tomorrow? And I've got my exam next week. Do I go to my exam? Or do I just push past this extreme level? I was the most scared I've ever been in my life, by the way. Do I push past it and take this phone call? And I made the decision right there. The one decision, by the way, that has led to literally everything that I have today, was made on that decision to take that phone call. So I take the phone call, I have it, I speak to Dom, I price my services. I think I priced at $500 a month, so it's only a really small client. He agreed. And boom, there you have it. I closed the deal. And I think literally the day after that, I get another response from another guy called Tyler, who reaches out to me as a personal trainer. He wanted help, and I closed him as well. This was only a smaller deal. And I was on, within the space of 2 or 3 days, I was making $700 a month, give or take, because I think I was on a little bit more, but then obviously processing things and things of that nature, my take home was about $700 a month. Now, back then I was not experienced, I had no mentors, I didn't know about the Tai Lopez social media marketing course. Again, most people in this space have come from the Tai Lopez course. I had nothing, I didn't know about that. I kind of started this by accident almost. And I was like, right, I'll price my services, but I was getting paid at the end of the month. So I didn't even get that $700 in my bank account, in my PayPal. It was just held, and again, I was getting paid at the end of the month. And by the way, this is not a recommendation for you to do this, by the way, this is no recommendation for you. But before the money had even hit my bank account, the fact I knew I was making $700 a month, which again is by no means anywhere near enough that I needed to live on. I needed at least double that to be comfortable, to pay my bills. I dropped out. I dropped out of university, I quit my job the very next day. And I'm not saying I recommend you do that, but I had the drive, the obsession, and I knew in that instant, I'm gonna do everything within my power to make this work. So how did I get my first client? I went onto freelance websites, I went onto Upwork, I found someone who was actively looking for help with social media, I applied to the job, and I closed the deal. And it's as simple as that. That's exactly how I closed my first deal. Now, fast forward 3 years, I've come so far. I'll take sales calls now, and I won't even think about it. I never get nervous for sales calls. I've obviously evolved and I've naturally improved as a person over the last several years. And now I'm in a stage, it's crazy, I've helped thousands of people actually close clients using the methods that I teach. But if you can take anything away from this is, number one, if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. Like if you're obsessed and disciplined enough to be like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this work, you will. Recommendation number 2, focus on high intent leads. Someone who had no experience at all, who was, even when I was on the sales call with my client, I was like, my voice was like shaking, I could hear it. Obviously my client could hear it as well, but he still believed in me and moved forward with me, even though I had no previous experience, I had no previous results. But the reason that was is because it was a high intent platform. He was looking for help with social media, and I was there to offer it to him. Even though I didn't have a bunch of experience, and I had no experience, say that, I still closed a deal because I focused on high intent leads. So again, that's my second recommendation for you is, not only have you got to be obsessed, be disciplined, and do anything to make it work, I really recommend you focus on that high intent lead sources such as recruitment sites, freelance websites, okay? Now the third and final thing that I recommend that you can take from this video is every single thing that you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Now I know lots of you know what to do, but you're scared to do it. You're fearful of the call. You are fearful to do outreach. You are fearful to speak to prospects. You're fearful to do the service because you've never done it before. I understand that you're probably scared, but everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of that fear. And once you push past that fear, all of a sudden it doesn't become scary anymore, and that's how you improve as a person. I recommend every single one of you do something every single day, or as often as you possibly can, that scares you, that is uncomfortable for you. Because when you're in that uncomfortable stage, that's when you grow. You know, if you look at diamonds are made under extreme levels of pressure, right? So again, your diamond, your ultimate life that you want is made under that pressure. It's made on the other side of that fear. So I really, really recommend, if you're scared to do something, think to yourself, what is the worst possible thing that can happen? And then push against the pain you're currently living or the pain you've experienced before to drive you. Don't necessarily think, I want an Audi R8, so I'm going to hop on this sales call and close a deal. That's what I thought for the longest time. I've had all these vision boards and they work, they're amazing, but what's even more powerful than having a vision of a materialistic object is actually pushing against the pain. For me, going into co-op again and working that minimum wage job, dealing with another drunk person, doing another night shift for £6 an hour, or going into university and sitting through another lecture for an hour and hours and hours of people who haven't run businesses but yet are teaching me business studies. Like, that was my pain. I didn't want to step foot at university again. I didn't want to step foot and work for someone else and take orders for someone else again for £6 an hour. I wanted to start my own thing. So for me, I pushed against that pain and said, I do not want to live this life. I know there's more for me out there. I pushed against that to then take my sales call, which turned out, by the way, to not even be that bad. It was just a back and forth conversation. And based off of that one decision I made to apply for that job, to take that sales call, or 2 decisions then, should you call it, transformed my whole entire life. So hopefully you guys can take some motivation from this. This is more of like a story time video. That's exactly how I closed my first deal, and hopefully you can gain some information and some insight from that as well. If you have already closed your first client, again, comment down below. I want to know, how did you close your first deal? And if you do have any questions for me, please feel free to comment down below. I do respond to every single comment I get on my videos personally, so I'm more than happy to help. So again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, drop a like. And if you are interested, by the way, in having me personally mentor you every single day for only $30 per month, you're going to get personal access to me. I'll send you voice notes. I'll give you action plans. I'll connect you with contractors. I'll give you systems, contract templates, whatever you want, sales scripts. I can mentor you every single day, and it's only $30 per month. Bunch of other benefits as well, including live events, live calls, weekly masterclass trainings, daily value posts, networking opportunities. There's a bunch of stuff. Again, it's only $30 a month. I highly recommend you check it out. The link to that is in the top link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.